My parents left my 6-year-old son alone in the ICU during a brain emergency to throw a birthday party for my brother. They didn't tell me. I found out from a Facebook photo, balloons, cake, and all time-stamped during my son's seizure when I confronted them. They shrugged and now they're broke, disowned and begging for help. I don't return their calls. My parents always worship Pete. He failed upward, constantly bailed out. I, on the other hand, worked construction through college, married Lauren, and raised our son Lucas alone after her death. They barely visited. Lauren's mom stepped in. She read to Lucas, hacked his lunches. When Lucas collapsed with bacterial meningitis, I begged my parents to sit with him during a work emergency. They promised. That night, Keith's birthday photo popped up on Facebook streamers. Candles, them grinning. Lucas was seizing while they were singing. The next morning, they walked into the hospital like nothing had happened. Mom handed me a muffin. He looked fine when we left, she said. I couldn't breathe. The nurse told me Lucas had coded for 45 seconds. Who signed him out? I asked. No one did. They just left. I fired them from our lives. Beth arrived an hour later, furious and quiet. She stayed by Lucas' side for 5 days straight. That was the first time I realized who loved my son, and he never did. I filed a negligence complaint at the hospital. The administrator said, we assumed they were his guardians. My parents denied everything. You said he was stable, Dad claimed. But Beth had saved the nurse. Text Lucas is convulsing. Where are they? My lawyer requested Ket's footage. Meanwhile, Keith posted again cake leftovers. Joking about skipping babysitting duties, I felt sick. The hospital launched an internal review, but warned it might not lead to anything. Beth told me, keep pushing, Lucas deserves the truth. My parents started calling neighbors, claiming I was unstable from grief. He told mutual friends I was trauma dumping for sympathy. I felt isolated, like I was losing ground. Even my cousin Rachel messaged, are you sure this isn't just stress? But Beth never wavered. She took time off work, kept Lucas company during my depositions. I started collecting every receipt, message, timestamp, the Facebook photo with the clown in the background, dated exactly 7:52 p.m, same minute Lucas lost consciousness. During the review hearing, my dad claimed, we stepped out for 10 minutes, but the Ket's face showed them leaving at 6:35 a.m. never returning. Keith's post confirmed it. No hospital vibes tonight, he'd written. I felt cold fury rising. Beth squeezed my hand. The board chair asked, why wasn't the child supervised? My parents stammered. The committee moved to investigate deeper. One member whispered, this may constitute abandonment. My hands trembled not from fear, but from something close to hope. The twist came when Rachel emailed me. She'd overheard Mom bragging about teaching Dean a lesson by pulling away support. They'd planned to leave the hospital all along. Pete didn't even know Lucas was sick. He was just told to show up for cake. I sent the email to the board. Beth read it aloud during our next meeting. The room went silent. One doctor murmured, that's premeditated neglect. For the first time in weeks, I felt vindicated. My parents were banned from the hospital. When Mom had a heart attack 2 months later, she called from here, sobbing. I told the nurse treat her but don't list me as next of kin. Lucas recovered fully. Beth moved in. One night, Lucas asked, is Grandma Beth my real grandma now? I said yes. He smiled. She never left. That moment sealed everything. Family shows up. The rest is just DNA. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe to check out more stories on my channel.